I'm not allowed to swear.
No, both of you are going to be on your bestest behaviour tonight.
I'm gonna.
We've lost him already.
Kick me out. I'll join again.
He's gone already.
Kick
him out.
Crying out loud. Oh, right, okay. So basically, what we're going to be doing is keeping ourselves entertained.
Yeah, can I just explain what has happened? Unfortunately, best laid plans and what happens with live shows sometimes is we do experience some problems. So we had a friend of ours, Ali, who was going to join us tonight on the live show, and he's got a new thing that's going to be coming out called Ask the Scientist. Fortunately for Ali, unfortunately for us, fortunately for him, he's out in Africa at the moment. Unfortunately for us, the internet is not as good as we get in the UK. So we've been having lots of technical difficulties. So what we've had to do is say, look, Ali, we're going to have to reschedule it for the not too distant future and talk about what he's going to be doing. Like quite shortly, we'll be able to get it up and do the live show. So big apologies from all three of us that we couldn't get Ali on. It is really exciting what he's going to be doing, but as always, we're going to improvise and we're going to sort of like talk about obviously what's been happening, how it's affecting us, what we can do in the meantime, you know, whilst we're under sort of like a little bit of lockdown. We're not quite under lockdown yet, but you know, we're doing this social distancing, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what plans we've got in the future.
Actually, Mike, can you do me a favour? Can you move further?
Oh, social.
Right,
it's Danny. He's it's uncomfortable over there.
Just for this show, and we're gonna move. So it's a bit mad. Like at first, this is really okay. If I swear, I'm sorry, and if there's any kids watching this,
you're not allowed
to. Don't repeat what I say if it's bad. It's mental. Like a couple of weeks ago, it was like it's a load of beep, and it's just
now it's an even bigger load of beep.
Yeah. We were.
I think I understand more now with what's happening and the severity of it all, and it's getting to the point now where it's like, right, okay. One, the population in England needs like some serious help because they're not listening. It's only going to get worse. Two, it is already worse. It's worse than I thought it was. And three, right, I don't care. I don't see Danny very often anyway because he's not allowed out in Norfolk. But like me and Mike are going to now have to distance ourselves and not see each other to protect our families. And I don't think I can deal with that.
Yeah, I don't think you should have to deal with that personally.
Well, we should all quarantine together and leave you out.
No, I just don't think you should have to deal with not seeing me very often.
Nobody should not have to deal with that, Dano. But I mean, Hosh, you just mentioned then about sort of like things that we're having to do now, you know, social distancing. I think there was a misconception, especially over this weekend. I mean, it's Sunday now, and it's been absolutely beautiful. There's lots of people been going out, hasn't there? Thinking, oh, okay, we'll go out into nature, which we sort of like are massive advocates of getting out into nature and enjoying that, all that good stuff. But unfortunately, there's been mass gatherings within sort of like, you know, parks and...
So at work, one of my routes is actually by Sutton Park, and we stop off at the co-op just by your mate's bar, Exo Lounge. And it's kind of like one of our pit stops where we get our food and drinks for the day. And we're driving up there. Normally, it's about, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. And it's dead. There's no one around. I've never seen so many people awake and ready to go to see the park that early in the morning. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Like, it's literally like a bit of sun comes out, coronavirus doesn't exist. Let's all go and infect ourselves in the park. You know, and like
Yeah.
you said earlier about the swings, and the swings are all made out of stainless steel and metal, and apparently that's the worst thing. And it lives on it the longest.
Yeah, metallic surfaces is something that they're saying, you know, we need to be mindful of. So, you know, door handles, especially kids' playgrounds and things like that, we need to be really mindful of, because lots of different people and children will be putting their hands on those metallic surfaces, and it's a perfect breeding ground for the virus, what they're telling us. And it's quite easy for one kid to jump on and another kid to jump off, and then another kid. And before you know it, you know, one kid could get on there, pass it to 10 kids, who then pass it to their families, who then pass it to, you know, the wider family. So that one child or person could literally spread it to hundreds and hundreds. And I think that's what's been happening in Italy. We've had reports that there wasn't taking social distancing seriously, and all of a sudden they're in an absolutely terrible situation.
Okay, let's be a little bit political and have a bit of a debate now. What our Prime Minister has done so far, what are your opinions on that? Because at first I thought he was mad, and he we should be straight into lockdown, we need to be doing this. And then I was like, well, actually, if we just avoid it, it dies down in numbers because we're not transmitting it, but it doesn't disappear. And then we go back out there and then we all get it again. So by not isolating ourselves as such, but slowing it down, we're able to become immune to it. I think that's the approach now, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You know, but trying to slow it down. That makes a lot of sense to me. But obviously, I know all the bars and restaurants and stuff have all been closed down. What do you think is going to happen next? And are you happy with what he's done so far?
Danny, what do you think, mate? Are you happy with what's been
hang
done
on,
so far?
hang on, Mike. Danny,
Yeah.
have you got coronavirus in Norfolk?
Yeah.
It was one of the last places to get it, if I'm honest with you.
I'm not even
We're
joking.
full of it.
Right, okay, I am joking. But if he can't get out of Norfolk very often, how the hell has it got into Norfolk?
There was a cheeky monkey that went out of Norfolk and he shouldn't have done, and he came back again, and now we're all screwed.
Well, at least we know it's not your fault, mate.
Yeah, don't tell anyone it was me. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about the old Boris Johnson. I know so there's a lot of people out there who are really slating him, and a lot of people out there that really love him. I'm kind of a little bit indifferent. I'm in the middle of the road. I think personally, whoever was in power right now would be getting slated.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Whoever it would be would make the decision. If he'd have gone straight down into lockdown, people would be whinging about it somehow. I think he's been, and he's been thrown the biggest curveball in over 100 years for a prime minister. I mean,
absolutely.
You know what?
I can't imagine what's going through his head right now.
I don't particularly like him. I think he's a scruff bag. He needs a decent comb.
That's just too judgmental.
I'm sorry. I don't want to get into politics as such, but from the political stance, I don't like the bloke. However, he's absolutely bossed this situation, and I think he's done the right thing for the country. That's once I got my stupid head around what he's doing.
Yeah, and there's a load of things. I can understand what they're trying to do. So the easiest way to explain it, what they're trying to do, they want people to get the virus at this moment in time whilst the NHS can cope with it. But they want it to come in at a steady point, okay? What they don't want is this massive spike. And by social distancing, if we do, I'll come to you in a minute, Danny, at the back of the class.
Okay, I'll keep my hand up.
What they don't want to do is if we all listen to the guidelines and do the social distancing, we will slow that peak down a little bit, and then I can't. I'd be rubbish as a teacher, especially with little Danny at the back. Excuse
I
me,
was a
sir.
nightmare in school. I'm not gonna lie.
But what they want to try and do is cap that point of that peak there, so that when it's about to go horribly wrong, they cap it. And I know the hard thing is knowing when to cap it. Should we have capped it 3 weeks ago to stop that spike? Yes, Danny.
Again, it doesn't matter what they do, it'll be wrong. Some people will think it's right, some people think it's wrong.
Yeah.
There's a good saying, you can
I
never
also-
please
yeah.
everyone. But also,
Yeah.
it is really, really important to remember that Boris Johnson is not making the decisions. There
No.
are people above Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is a little puppet. That's all he is.
Yeah.
He's just a puppet.
Ooh,
He's just a man. He's just-
Ooh.
No, he's just a man
Yeah,
in the limelight,
okay.
isn't he? He's just a face, Boris Johnson. That's all he is. He's just a face. He goes to meetings, he gets told what to do, told what to say, comes out and says it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So slating Boris Johnson, in my opinion, is, well, just a waste of your energy, really. Save your energy, because it's not really him. It's a massive, massive team and panel of people coming together and making these decisions.
As well, it's not just a UK decision. This is a global thing.
Yeah.
The governments need to be working together as well, to try and understand what the hell's going on. I did have a really, really good something to say, but
No, you didn't.
Danny talked too much and I forgot.
Why do you lie?
Can I just
You
say,
always
and I know, I think we've had a couple of comments on saying we need to go in lockdown now because people are stupid. I mean, he couldn't have been any more clear in the UK. So Boris Johnson said tonight, look, we know going outdoors is good for your mental health and well-being. He's adamant about that. And what he's saying is the specialists and the people that he's talking to are saying, our mental health and well-being is more important at this moment in time to what the current rate of the coronavirus is in the UK. Yeah.
Right.
So what he's trying to say is, I'm going to be sensible and let you do as you and give you the guidelines. If you don't follow it, then we'll take them away from you.
Yeah, but I also think as well, Danny, shut up. I'm talking now. Remembered my point.
Do you know what, though? Danny was really sensible and he put his hand up. I haven't seen you put your hand up once.
Because
and you will be getting attention at the end of this lesson.
And I need to say one more thing that I've completely forgotten now. No, I was saying, right, the UK is really, really commercial as well. Like, really, we centralize everything around big marketing, and big corporate companies, and we're not like it's not as agriculture as it used to be. We don't look after ourselves anymore, do we? We rely on other people. We rely on big companies.
I was saying the other day on the podcast, we go to work to earn money to buy food. We can't grow our own food because we have to go to work.
We're not our own people anymore.
And I know that we probably don't have the amount of land, or I definitely don't have the amount of land it would take to grow the food for this household. But we used to do some. Now, going to a point back to there, I need to say it because I'm going to forget because I'm stupid. But I think Boris Johnson or BJ, we should refer to him as BJ from now on. BJ, basically, he's doing it as step by step. So if he just went lockdown, then it'd be just pandemonium. Everyone would go nuts.
I think we'd struggle.
But what he's done is gone, right, okay. So I don't want you to go to clubs. I don't want you to go to bars. I want you to socially distance yourselves. Right, okay, well, guys, you're not doing that. You're not listening. So I'm going to close them now.
Yeah.
You can still go out. You've still got freedom. The next one's going to be, guys, you're not listening. I told you can't do that. You take
complete lockdown. Yeah.
Now you're in lockdown. That way, then, one, it's not his fault. It's the public that have made the decision. And secondly, people are able to kind of like, this is taking a week, 2-3 weeks. and they're able to get the food in, and they're able to prepare, not only but physically buy the food, but we can mentally prepare and go, right, okay, well, I'm going to be a sitting duck in my house for a while. What can I do? And I think that's a good topic to bring up as well. What can we be doing? You know, I've got all intentions of doing one and going out on my own into the Peak District and other bits and pieces, doing loads of walking. I might not be able to do that because if we're on lockdown, complete lockdown, then I'm going to get stopped and I'm going to get told to go back to my house. So if I can't do that,
not if you're in the mountains.
Well,
you'll be all right up there. You can't give anyone corona up there.
I've got to get there first, haven't I?
Yeah, sneak.
Yeah,
you can't sneak. Have you ever seen a T-Rex tippy toes?
It's also important. I mean, I've seen a few things as well. I've seen a few articles out today as well, and people who do live in these remote villages, they're getting a little bit annoyed because all of a sudden they're getting a new wave of people coming, you know, to escape coronavirus and go out to the country. And all of a sudden, all these people from the cities are going into their little village, and then they're being exposed. So they're not happy about that as well. So there's so many things to look at it. And I think, you know, we tend to look at things from a selfish point of view as humans, don't we? Because we think what's best for us and what's best for our children. This is really teaching us a lesson about it's not about what it is for us. It's actually about what it's best for, well, more than anyone, the NHS and the emergency services.
Unpopular opinion.
You mean the ribs? Stop it.
Come on, Papa Fresh. Unpopular opinion. It's our selfish ways that got us here in the first place.
Yeah, 100%, mate. 100%.
I do thoroughly believe, and I know it's a crappy situation. I hate it. I wish. Well, I don't wish it on anyone at all. Anyone all over the world, let alone my family and friends. Blah blah blah. But I truly believe that if we keep stripping the air and the atmosphere of all its good stuff, then it's going to leave nothing but bad stuff.
Okay, so someone,
do you know what I mean?
Work, had a what's the word I'm looking for?
Epiphany.
An idea of play of what happened and how this came about.
A theory.
A theory. So imagine in the last ice age, there was this virus or bacteria or something that was frozen. All right, and then Mike's not going to like this. And it was frozen, this, that, and the other, or it was whatever. Then global warming has now melted the ice. That bacteria's got into the water. Animals consumed it, and it's been passed through the chain. Like that probably is a bit of a far-fetched, theory, but it's possible. It could be something like that, or Mother Nature is just sick to death of the way we are abusing the planet, and she's gone, have that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scientists that have brought books out, years apart. It's quite interesting, really, because they both predict that we're going to have this virus years ago, one in 2008, one in 90-something.
They made it.
They actually pinpointed it to exactly where it was going to come from. And the reason being is in some of these wet markets, there's certain things that are going on, animals kept with animals, and the way that the wet markets are set up for, and my brother-in-law explained this to me today, the wet markets are set up for people who really need to feed, go there to buy food, and people who want to make money are there. There's animals piled up on top of animals, on top of animals. There's certain animals that you cannot put together because genetically, and I'm probably going to get all this wrong now, but there's a reason you can't put them together. Because of the genetics of them, they can create this super virus. And these scientists said that in this certain place in China, it was so likely to happen that they actually named Wuhan as the place that it would happen, because of they've seen what goes on in these wet markets. And all of a sudden, that is exactly what's happening now. This could be totally wrong, but it's amazing that these two scientists, and one of them is sort of like, I don't know, he's got PhDs after his name. He's one of the top professors in all the diseases that go on. He's the one that they turn to do all the research.
No,
and
it makes it makes a lot of sense because basically, coronavirus was first found in 1939. Was it 1934?
Yeah.
And it's been found, a few more times, like throughout the years. In different, some in humans, some in birds, some in other animals, blah blah. Because there's lots of different strains, and basically they've said that coronavirus has always been around. It's probably always going to be around. The only problem with coronavirus is it tends to breed strains. So one strain breeds with another strain, creates a totally different strain that no one's immune to, and then it comes out and bang, we're all suffering from it. So that's pretty much all it is. When you say these two animals that have been stacked on top of each other, one had this virus, one had that virus, they've bred, and boom.
And you've hit the nail on the head there, Danny. And I heard it was something like this scientist goes on about if you suck the strains within a chicken and a ferret, I think it was, and he said those, when they've tested them in the labs, that this, for some unknown reason, those strains, when they're interlocked, they work so well together that they create this absolute super virus that we've got no defense against. And that's probably what's happened. What you got to remember in these wet markets, animals are in cages stacked upon top of on top of on top. They're weeing, they're pooing on top of each other. Do you know what I mean? And it's just an absolute perfect place over a period of time.
We've all got to become vegetarian.
Oh,
taxi!
Yeah. It's the whole conspiracy what George Pratt has put up, and I don't want to really talk about this too much because it's sick. But there's a conspiracy going around that the virus was basically man-made to kill the population of elderly and sick people. Strange indeed. So if you've got these two scientists that already know about this, it literally could have been put that animal there, wait till it happens. But I think you got all these conspiracies about how it started, and as interesting as it all is, and it would be nice to know the actual answer, it's not going to help us. It's not going to help what we're going to do as the general public. So there's been loads and loads of comments come through. I know John's just said, in lockdown, did they give some leeway for exercise? We don't know.
Is it because John wants to go out on his run?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
No, run around your back garden, you lazy melt.
So in Italy, they were allowing people to do it at first. I think in Spain, they've not allowed it at all, have they? Or is it the other way around?
I think similar to over here, they was given the opportunity, and then as the infection increases, they've had to put more stringent rules in place and literally cut the isolation, grow the isolation, should I say.
Definitely.
So, and that's what inevitably is going to happen over here, isn't it? We can talk about it all we like. We know what's happening because we can see what's happening in other countries. And I've heard lots of people say, oh, yeah, but we're not Italy and we're not Spain. But, it's inevitable. They're not that far away in the modern age, are they? Yeah. They're only around the corner. We know. In the UK, I suppose we're luckier in a sense that we're getting it later on, so we can see the effects in other countries. It is a new cough. It started last week, actually.
Hoss, give me a high five.
High five.
So what we're doing, we're showing the kids exactly what not to do and how not to behave.
Also as well, and I won't put the picture up because, quite frankly, I don't want to be sick again. But Mike, stop kissing strangers.
Stop what?
Stop kissing strangers.
I think Mike started the whole thing.
Mike and Luke Dent. How do you guys find shops? Like, I've only been twice to like a big supermarket since it's all been going on.
That's terrible.
People need to really think about themselves. I got there.
They are. That's the problem.
Well, you need to stop. I got there at 10 o'clock this morning, and there was there must be 200 people waiting outside of Asda. There was 6 security blokes, crowd management. They had no control over nothing. And it was literally Like it was locusts. They were locusts. They just wiped out.
Like vultures.
Firstly, they went for the loo roll. Then they went for the soap. Then it was the pasta. And you could literally watch this mound of people just run round Asda. It was nuts. Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing this? Like, I don't. And also, as well, there's people leaving. Well, they're getting taken off them because you can only buy so much. But they're putting like 6 or 7 loaves of bread in their trolley. What are we doing?
Yeah, there's been
I think everyone's panicking that all of a sudden it's going to come out saying, right, that's on lockdown now. You're not supposed to leave your house for 4 weeks or whatever. And people are panicking, and think, I'm going to need all my supplies. First of all, loo roll it's not going to get you anywhere. Why are you stockpiling loo roll? It's not going to kill a virus. Just get a flannel and wash it. Get in the shower. Do something. Just loo roll's ridiculous.
We need to learn from the Asian culture because they have those like watering can things on the sides of the toilet.
Yeah, we should all get B-days.
Yeah, spend some money, get a B-day. I like a B-day. It feels nice.
Spend it now. Get B-days now. Panic buy B-days.
I did see one funny post of a guy, Australian guy, and he said, "I know if you're out of toilet roll, you can go over a blowhole, and it's like a geyser that you squats over."
You know what, Katie, you are bang on. People profiting off panic buying. So there's a bloke up a hardware shop by us, Mike.
But here's some advice. I've got some advice.
Toilet rolls at a ridiculous price, and I'm not going to go into it, but he needs a punch in the head.
I've got some advice.
Go on, Danny.
If you're going to panic buy anything, realistically, panic buy multivitamins, which I just finished,
and these
cough medicine,
and these, and that.
Do you know why cough medicine? Because cough medicine will actually stop you coughing in people's faces and will stop the spread of coronavirus. And it's almost spelt coronavirus. Maybe this is it.
So, Danny, I actually think you've hit the nail on the head there. And I have seen something saying there was a guy saying that the best form of defense from coronavirus, I have pointed it out to people, is vitamin C. So up your vitamin C. I've heard slice a lemon into 3 pieces and put it into a glass of water.
He got it. He's pulled it.
Oh, his eyes watering.
I got like.
Let's have a look, Danny.
Come close.
Let's have a look.
No, it's still there, mate.
Oh, I think I pulled out 3 other ones. I spent my eyes water.
Guys, I think it's important. We've talked a lot about sort of like the worries, the woes, and all about it. Oh, it's there. Look, I can see.
Look at the
there it is.
Of it. Oh, it's scary.
Do you know what it is? They're just for men's running out in the panic buying, and he hasn't been able to dye his hair.
I
know. So, have you guys been struggling to get anything in particular?
Yeah, everything. We went shopping the other night, and we must have walked down 10 aisles, and 8 of them were empty. Yeah. And I mean empty for like 12 meters. They're just empty. Like, what the hell? We went right down one aisle, and the only thing left on the entire aisle was a tin of like fish chowder soup. Like what? One tin. One.
Actually, right.
All the soups are gone.
So, as to this morning, right? This is funny. This shows just the mental capacity of the UK public, right, as a whole, because we're all to blame on this. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to get myself a couple of cans just in case, right? No, lager or cider, nothing left. Nothing left. No Budweiser, no Desperados, no Carling, Carlsberg, Stella. That's
because everyone's all
there was loads of one brand of lager.
There's absolute heap ton, box after box after box of Corona. You're like, what the hell?
No, really?
Here we are.
No,
it is. Isn't it?
So guess what I bought?
Corona.
I bought Corona.
Don't blame you.
Bread, that's going out of fashion. Flour out of fashion. Pasta gone. Toilet roll, for some reason, why we started going for the toilet roll to start with, I just do not understand, but Katie said something again here, which is absolutely right. And it's avoid the big chain stores, try and support your little local businesses. I found the stuff I've been struggling to get, if I go to my local shops, they are doing, I can get the stuff from there, but I've also had by me, we've got Blackwood Butchers and a little local sort of like store that does groceries and things like that. They've teamed up together. They're delivering for free to people who are in isolation. So, they're really reaching out to the community. It's a shame that a lot of these stores, we bypass them to make it easy for ourselves and go to the big, the big supermarkets. I think we're probably going to learn a valuable lesson here that, these local stores are really, really important to us, especially at times like this, and we should stick by them,
Definitely.
in the future.
We keep getting little deliveries. We do. We've got a little, I don't know what it is. I think it's like a little, I think it's like a play group kind of thing, but I think it runs on charity and stuff in the village. And the other day they dropped off 2 loo rolls. It just said, it had a note on it. It said where it was from, and it said, just in case you get desperate, blah blah blah. If you don't feel that you need it, pass it on to the next person. So we did. Passed it on to my auntie, who's a lot older than me and lives up the road, a lot less able than me. And then today we got a little bag of like wild broccoli, which I'll probably give to my neighbour as well. He's really old, bless him, so he can have that. Yeah. So yeah, everyone's sort of coming together, which is nice.
Yeah. So
Right.
Ryan, Rachel can't get paracetamol. Your dad wants some cider, mate.
No.
Also,
No.
Ryan Costello, he's saying that you can get hand sanitizer, soap, and most toiletries at your local chemist.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yes and no. My local chemist has been ram raided, so I think it depends on your local.
I imagine they're going to run out quick.
However, also my local pharmacy, again taking the mick and overcharging. One little mask like that's normally what, £1, £10.
What you've got to remember, though, mate, that might not necessarily be them. That might be their supplier that's up in it.
Yeah, 100%.
Up in the cost.
Even whether it's the pharmacy or it's the wholesaler or whatever, that's wrong.
It's disgusting. That is disgusting.
I don't know how effective wearing a face mask is against this coronavirus. I personally think it should help. I've been wearing one at work. But like, that's
they should be free.
Oh, yeah.
They should be sent out to everybody's doorstep free.
Yeah. I thought this was
that's one place the government needs to stand up, I think. Spend some money.
I think hands. This is quite, say, not a good question, but just a good statement about interesting to hear what your local communities are doing and how it differs across the UK. I personally have seen a fantastic response by the local community where I live.
Mike, you've literally put your heart in your sleeve and you've taken over your road. You know what I mean? You've offered your family to help out, haven't you?
Yeah, so what we did, we've got a WhatsApp group for the street, but what I'm aware of is that a lot of the elderly, I know there is quite a lot of the elderly that live on my street, haven't got WhatsApp or social media. So I thought I think I'd do it old-fashioned style, and I literally wrote them a letter. So I wrote a letter just saying, "Dear neighbour, I'm now at home for the next," well, it was 8 weeks at that time. I understand that these uncertain times, that it might be quite worrying. Just to let you know that I've spoke to a lot of people on our social media group and they're all willing to help. Here's my number. Here's my wife's number. Should you need anything, and you're self-isolated or whatever it may be, and you want me to get it, I'll get it you. And honestly, the response we had, people didn't want anything, if I'm honest with you. I sent it out, last
4 or 5 days ago.
4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
We've had 4 prescriptions to pick up for elderly people who are self-isolated. You know, it was quite easy. My son was at school next to the pharmacy, went there, picked my son up, got the prescription and dropped it around the house on my road. So I didn't have to go out my way. But for them, what you got to remember is, right, I was speaking to one absolutely lovely lady. She didn't want anything. She just rung me up and she said, my husband died 25 years ago, have no family. I live on your road. And I was really worried about what I was going to do. Should I become, you know, ill, or I was worried about something, or if I needed to collect something. All of a sudden, she said, I've now got a number that I can call, knowing that somebody a couple of doors away is willing to help me. Now, you can imagine the worry that she's under, thinking, I've got nobody. All of a sudden, she's got somebody. And it cost me absolutely nothing. So I'd really encourage that.
Shoulders.
And also, if you don't want to go to that length, obviously, if you can, you know, please do, because we're only going to defeat this and, you know, and beat it together. But something that you can do with your friends and family. So, Mike, I went to Asda today, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to get anything for you because everyone's an idiot. But rang Mike up. Mike, I'm on the way to Asda. What do you need? And all you wanted was a couple of little rolls and some strong flour. And but I also, I'm in a WhatsApp group with a couple of other friends, and I noticed whilst I was in Asda, one of them says, has anyone seen any Calpol 6 years plus? And literally, I was on that aisle at that point, went and picked it up, and then dropped it around the house. And again, didn't knock the bell, have a 10-minute conversation, literally. What my plans were to just leave it on the step, and that was
just
it.
Drop it on the doorstep.
But that didn't actually happen. Luke came and picked it up from my house, just left it outside, and he come and got it. Because that's the key thing as well, is that we don't, you know, if you are going to help people, like, leave it. You don't need to have that interaction. You just need to kind of like, there you are, drop it. You don't need the pat on the shoulder, thank you very much. Just get it done. You know, and we need to help each other. You know, if you're out shopping, just message around your mates and your family. You know, if anyone need anything, you know, we all live in the same areas 9 times out of 10. It's not hard, is it?
No.
I tell you what, we can. I've seen some good things, cool things for kids that people can do. We've started. Well, I got the kids to draw a rainbow and put it up in the window. We've also put a teddy bear in the window, and it just gives, if people are out with young children, taking them for some extra exercise, on their own, walking around the streets, it gives the kids some focus. So it's count how many rainbows you see or how many teddy bears you see in people's windows. So we've done that today and put them up in the windows, which I think is quite a good idea, because people need to get out and get their exercise. You know, social distancing, yes, but you can still go out and walk around as long as you're sensible about it. So
I think people are aware of it as well. So one of my pet peeves in life is shopping, and it's not because I'm horrible and I don't like people. It's because they walk into me and they bump into me, and it does my nut. And I'm big enough and ugly enough to say, like, there's no excuse. Today, shopping, not one person everyone avoided me. And when people weren't paying attention, was almost about to shoulder barge me, they did like the around, you know what I mean? And people
do that again.
Nice move.
Oh, look at that. That's called the Hoss slide.
I was going to fall off. I need to stop. But, you know, people are listening, but they're not. How can I put it?
Not going quite far enough.
It's like we know to do it, but then it's like, Mike, want to go down the pub for a couple of pints, mate? Yeah, mate, that's fine. Yeah, I'll come meet you in 10 minutes. On the way, I go to the petrol station, buy some chewing gum. I freak out because people are looking at me, and there's people, and there's coronavirus everywhere, and I'm panicking. I get to the pub, and I'm like, all right, mate, safe. Let's have a couple of pints. And we forget about it. We don't think about it all the time. Like, I found out. But
why did you both become like more Cockney? You just did an impression of a friend who has the exact same accent as you, yet you changed them both to Cockney. Yeah. Safe in it, mate. Yeah, safe, mate. Don't worry about it, mate. You know what I mean? Safe in it. You know
I
what I
love
mean?
it. I love
Where did that come from?
I've been practicing.
Been practicing doing the wrong accents.
Now you'll hear a fantastic. You'll hear a fantastic impression if you listen to our podcast that we're about to record in a little while.
Yeah. Before we sign off on this, because it's 40 minutes,
no.
it's only supposed to be a 20-minute thing. Behave yourself. Not yet. Don't spoil it. If you want to come on and talk about how this has affected you, if you've got anything going on with your homeschooling, you've got some crazy DIY project or something you're doing in the community that you do want to, spread the word about and perhaps inspire other people, so we don't all go nuts or isolating. Get in touch and let us know, because to be honest, I need ideas as well.
I'm going to use my garden. If you're lucky enough to have a garden, it's a fantastic opportunity. If you're stuck in to do something nice, I'm going to build a pond in my garden and make a little bit of a tiny nature reserve.
Pull faces.
Look at that.
Yeah.
PlayStation.
That's about
good.
it. But yeah.
PlayStation. Wood turning.
Can we? Oh, we should. I've got a Twitch account. We should live stream playing games together.
I've got one. Also, I've got another DIY. Danny's DIY for Wednesday. If I can get hold of the stuff, I've got a good one for Wednesday.
I love DIY, Danny.
So
look, he's
tuned.
excited. Look, he's all excited.
Stay tuned.
It's important to say we're putting our heads together and coming up with some ideas for sort of like with everybody in lockdown, especially the kids who are off school. If we can use this platform as a kind of educational platform for kids, whether it be natural history, it's more than likely going to be around animals, but we've got good friends that do stuff about mental health, dieting, exercise. We'll try and bring them onto the live show. So at least then, all the things that we should be doing whilst we're in lockdown, or if we do go into lockdown, we'll try and cover off as many subjects as we can to try and help. I
think as well, it needs to be pointed out that we do swear, and we're not very good at keeping our P's and Q's together. But I'm
amazed tonight.
We're going to try our very best.
We've done so well.
If you see Corona and Chill in any of our titles, it's going to be kid friendly. We're going to try. Yeah, we're going to try. We are going to do it.
Should we put this up on a new channel?
I'll put it on a different playlist, and what I'll do is everything
Corona and Chill.
Yeah, man. But we're not taking the mick. I know Corona and we do the whole Netflix and Chill, Reptile and Chill, Corona and Chill. We're not taking the mick.
We're just keeping it. We're just keeping it similar.
But think about it logically. Coronavirus is around. We need to chill out, accept the situation, and we need to get on with it together. That's what we mean by Corona and Chill. No, we're not taking the mick.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right then. So is that about it for this week?
I think so, guys. Again, just really sorry that we promised to bring a guest on to talk about something that's fantastic that's going to be coming out. It's called Ask the Scientist. We will get him on to do a live show shortly. But basically what Ali's done, he's got a load of the sort of like top people within their fields, zoologists, marine biologists, botanists, that will do sort of like an hour show, and they will answer questions all about their fields.
Right, okay, so that is about it for this week, guys.
We love you, Phelps.
I need to go to sleep.
Love you.
I
can't record a podcast.
We're not doing a podcast yet, haven't we?
You're on the bed.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
So, guys, check out our other stuff. Obviously, we're all going to be bored, so I need to swore down. We're all going to be bored, so check out all the Reptile and Chill stuff. You can get us on our website, www.reptileandchill.com. You can get our hoodies and t-shirts for sale. I haven't got a Scooby what the merchandise ordering is going to be like, whether they're still going to be sending them out or whatnot. So if you do want to support us, that's great. don't know when it's going to come until we physically have an order come through and it goes through it. I don't know. Social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle of Reptile and Chill. And that is about it. And just remember, be cool, clean, wash your hands, help each other out, and don't stress.
Stick to the guidelines. Don't listen to Danny.
High five me! High five me!
No,
Darren. High five me!
Oh.
High five me!
Oh God, look at him.
Oh, corona everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening in tonight.
This isn't going to be easy, but it's going to be a damn sight easier than dealing with these two numbskulls on a weekly basis. I can promise you. Good night. Love you.